So then, Wheeler, what about the overall inspiration and the backstory with the Arcanist?
Yeah, we were again like.
Okay, so here's some new assets. Necroman says this actually might even be under like ground or something. So this might be in like the catacombs. You know, I mean, it looks like it might be because these torches are on. They're not like lamps you could turn off. There's a bunch of urns everywhere, but there are mushrooms. Mushrooms could be underground, so this might actually be underground here. Oh, wait, what's oh? Did the stream break? Ah, shit. Your sub ran up? No! What emote do you want to see? You want to see an emote?
Like CJ said, it was just like make a class. And
Yeah, this
we
looks
knew
like
we
it's
had to have
underground.
it themed after, you know, Hermaeus and that whole cosmic horror, but things like really jumped off when we started talking about the Black Book.
Okay, so here's some fighting seekers in Apocrypha.
Like that was like an immediate like aha
Black
moment
Book?
where we were like, oh, it's
I don't know if that's Nazare or something else, like the effect. I don't think so. I don't know.
cool because
Yeah,
it can
look at
draw
the
from
books.
so much power and so many secrets, and that could be any kind of magic. And we went with this like this cosmic, wild color, and it just like
Here's another example of like what you would see in Vardenfell, the architecture. That's a good emote.
clicked immediately.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
it was a gift for us because we didn't know it was.
That
gonna
might even be a
Hermaeus
world
Mora
boss,
even
'cause she
first.
ain't dying,
Right.
so.
We were already working on the Hermaeus Mora stuff, so some of the glyphic stuff, some of the you'll see some.
I don't know
you
why my
stay
stream
around
just
for the
my
class
stream
panel
keeps
later,
breaking,
You'll see
dude.
some of the
I don't know
early.
why. Let me know if it
concept
does
art
again,
for the class
please.
when we were working on it, and we got to get into all the stuff we were already working on for Mora and pull it over. So it was.
There's something you
great.
get paid just for broke right now.
Well,
I mean, you don't
getting
have
to
to. if you want
design
to.
a brand new class is something
Well, I
that
guess you
all
do
don't
want
get
to,
to do
but-
super often, so I'm sure the team was really excited to kind of get in there and get their hands dirty with it. What was one of the most fun parts of developing this new class?
I mean, we get to make new sets, and we get to mess with abilities from time to time. But having a whole suite of abilities to toy with, especially with like the color palette and the vibe we were going, that really opened up the stage for a cool sound stage. And I kind of do like audio stuff on the side. So
Wheeler's kind of an audio nerd. He is.
we had a moment there where we were like, all right, let's really explore some different frequencies and sound tables that we haven't messed with before. So it not only was fun to get the cool look and the animations and all those visuals, but like when you put the headphones on, you catch bass, you catch all of it. It's really fun to hear that stuff, right?
He's into it.
Heck yeah. I was just saying, heck yeah. Narratively, too. I'm into it.
It's about it.
Narratively, too, a lot of fun opportunities. Again, for every player, you interact with their class in a different way. And with the Arcanist, you don't have just to be just a Daedric cultist, right? You can have a bunch of different relationships with Hermaeus Mora, with Apocrypha, with the Power Suite itself. It's all up to you to decide what that journey looks like.
Yeah,
I appreciate the support.
When we started to sketch out I was talking about it. We started to sketch out abilities, and we were catching ideas from content and from you guys on the team, making it. And it was a lot of fun. My favorite was we came up with something called the Abyssal
Impact.
Impact. We
Yeah.
called it a Kira arm at
Right.
the beginning because we were.
That's what it
was
looked
just
like.
the tentacles coming out of the arm. That process is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And like getting that whole crew together, like you guys were saying we were brought in early, like having that cross discipline, like it was
Yeah.
a mix of like, audio effects, animation, lore. We had our designers on it. Like we had a whole suite of people that were just meshing together extremely
The
well. on it.
engineers right at the beginning of the process.
They were all about it.
Gave
Yeah, it
us
was great.
the runway to
Yep.
get there. Yeah.
It was awesome.
Well, obviously, there's a lot that goes into making a new class. How did you all decide on the particular look and feel? So things like the visual effects and the colors and all of that.
Want to talk color?
Sure. So I mean, well, I'm probably just giggling, but there's a lot that goes into that where you have to look at the colors that exist already on all the classes. You have to look at not just like the icons, but I would go into Photoshop and just be like, screenshot, ink dab. This is what it looks like. These are the colors of the Templar. These are the Dragon Knight. And then that left us with a color palette that was like obviously screening out to us like green,
Yeah.
purple, black, and you didn't kill me, so I was
No,
happy.
you didn't have to twist our arms for that. It was all tied to Hermes Mora, and we were
It all
working on
worked.
tons of cool
It worked.
Mora stuff, so it was easy.
All right, well, let's get into what I know players are really excited to hear more about, and that is Arcanist abilities and skill lines.
That was cool.
Wow.
They're all about it.
Mom, go home.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, we took keys from, I want to say, the Warden and the Necro, where we had the abilities sort of categorized into DPS, tank, and healing or support, because that resonated extremely well with new players and veterans. Like, they could go into a skill, and I'm like, all right, here's my damage stuff, here's my tanking stuff. And of course, you can, mix and match this how you want, but each skill line having their own vibe of this is their theme, this is what they are mechanically themed after versus, I would say, visually themed after. And
nice, you
we
get a
have Herald of
graphic.
the Tome
Cool.
for
That's cool.
damage. We have Curative Rune Forms for healing and Apocryphal Soldier for the tanking line. And that, again, that division of the, I would say, gameplay style just felt perfect because, again, we also had that out with the Necro and the Warden, and everybody loved that. So I
Heck
want
yeah.
to stick with it.
A great example of mechanical constraints being actually very helpful for narrative creativity, right? So because each of the skill lines have a mechanical focus rather than like a thematic focus, that lets us take the different bits that make up the class and interpose them all throughout the different skill lines, right? There's no tentacle line, there's no abyssal seas line, there's no rune line. I know it's yeah. Every time we talk about this, it's like, oh man, this should have been a tentacle line. It's fine. It makes the Arcanist feel very coherent, right, thematically, which is great.
From our side, right from the beginning of the process, you were on this, Rich was on this about it can't look like anything we've got before. Like, it's got to be unique, it's got to look different. And then we were given it was another gift. It was healing, and it was damage, and it was tanking. So we got to dip into a little bit of everything.
Well, I know we always like to try and make sure that players can play however they want, and we have all of these really great abilities. What are some of your favorite abilities?
I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Fade Carver. That thing's awesome. It's basically a laser beam that you blast out from you any direction you want, and you just control it. And I think we got some audio here, which sounds pretty muffled, but it's pretty cool. Like, when you hear it in game, it's just like,
Sorry. It is the same race magic that Morak used. Looks very similar. You mean Barak? Yeah, because Barak served Hermes Mora, and so this whole thing is themed after Hermes Mora. And I wouldn't be too surprised if we get some kind of vague Barak reference in this DLC.
it sounds almost like, I can't word it any other way than just a badass laser firing off of you. It's really cool.
Yeah,
It's the
Necro
Death
is
Star.
awesome. So for me, absolutely, it's the Arcanist domain. You drop a vortex of power at your feet, help you and your allies, and again, a lot of great lore opportunities. Do we have any Morian Zenith fans out there in
Me?
the audience? Any deep lore? No. Okay, cool. I'm the only one. That's right.
No one was raising their hand? I mean, can't see it, but he's reacting like no one's raised their hand. I mean, I did.
Anyone?
I'm extremely used to that. Don't worry about it. For those of you in the audience watching the lore folks, Morian Zenith is a very powerful, apocryphal character. Makes an appearance in this release.
Oh my god, confirmation. Confirmation we're getting Morian Zenith in this DLC. I've been theorizing this since they announced it. It's been months. Finally have confirmation. Worth it. Worth the wait.
And we got a great morph for Arcus domain called Zenith's Empowering Disc. It's gonna go over great.
Nice.
Cool. All right, talked about Abyssal Impact, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You do? You want to talk about it some more?
No, it's awesome.
You just like,
You guys saw it, right? It was in one of the shots of there. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one last thing we should touch on is a brand new system coming with the Arcanist. It's unique to this class, and it's what really makes it special. This is called the Crux system. So, Wheeler, can you explain what this is and how players are going to use it in combat?
yeah, I mean, you say Crux system, and that makes people think of mechanics, and people go, "What's a dirty word, mechanics?" But I mean,
we love
when you think about it, there's the Necro who can gobble up corpses to get cool stuff that goes in their abilities, and even going back to the Templar, they could do that sort of mechanical thing too. So we were looking at, in a lot of the development time, what kind of mechanic can fit, A, in Elder Scrolls, and B, isn't going to detract from the combat we already have. We're a very action-based combat. We want you to be in the moment, playing, not staring at the UI. So what's really cool about it is there's this system where you build or spend Crux. Now, it's not required, and some abilities will get extra little additions to it, depending upon how many Crux you spend. You can either have, like, the ability costs less, or it can do some more healing, or it can give you like a major or minor that you may not have had if you didn't have Crux. So it gives you that flexibility, whether you're, you know, a pro or some of our high-end raiders or hard moders versus a new player. Like, it's not a system that's going to overwhelm you, and that was also very, very important with that system.
Our fears were mostly about the user interface side of it.
Right.
Because we have a philosophy where we want you playing the game, we don't want you playing the UI. So we were really afraid we were going to have to see like Crux things off of the
On your
side.
bar,
Right,
like, yeah.
but no, we got the tech to put the Crux like on the player, so you can still play the game as the player. You're not you know, getting off into the weeds on the side of the screen.
And another narrative opportunity. Crux is, of course, like a fated moment, so an opportunity to bring in Fate as part of Hermaeus Moore's portfolio into the class. Great stuff.
Yeah.
And as you all
I
just
never
saw in
realized
the
that.
video that was playing, the Crux,
Crux.
the Crux thingies, right?
The thing is,
Don't get technical.
Official term, right?
They're-
As they're
they're
spinning.
runes.
Okay, actually, they're runes.
It's literally my job. I don't know what the.
Well, other players
is.
can see that too. So as you're kind of going around, maybe in Cyrodiil, if
Yeah.
you see somebody that has 3 Crux
they're going to
runes
unload
spinning
on you.
around.
Look out.
Yeah, watch out for 3.
Well, we had a group of players that were lucky enough to come in and play the Arcanist a little bit early. I know a lot of them were able to publish their preview impressions earlier today.
Thank you.
They've been really excited about playing the Arcanist, and I know a lot of people that were reading this are really anxious to get their hands on it. What are you all most excited about with the arrival of the Arcanist?
I mean, from the combat side and PvP side, just looking at all the builds that people are going to make with this. Like, we get builds all over the place, from, you know, veteran to new player to people just want around and craft. So it's going to be wild to see the variety of builds that people have, but also just being able to see, like, people enjoy it. Like, we've been working on this, like, for about 2 years, and everybody's like, holy crap, that's a long time. And being able to finally see people play it and enjoy it, it's just, like, extremely rewarding. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see what people make of it from a role-playing perspective. So many great opportunities for new stories, new characters, with this interesting connection to Apocrypha.
Now, I'm looking forward to screaming Tetsuo at the top of my lungs every time I do. Abyssal Impact, have I mentioned Abyssal Impact?
A little bit.
pretty good,
A little
pretty
bit.
good spell.
You seem to like that one.
Well, I know sometimes we sneak in little Easter eggs throughout the game. Are there any that players could expect to see with the Arcanist?
Yes. If you've been around Cyrodiil and Imperial City, you know there's some stuff snuck in there. But this time we kind of were trying to
I go in
sneak in things associated with the team that built it. There's some, you know, phrases or words that had special meaning to people, so we stuck a lot of those into some tooltips.
Heck yeah.
And that kind of gave us an opportunity to give that personal touch to it, but also kind of gets again to what we've kind of talked about here, where it's been a team effort, and from like the top to the bottom with everybody working on the class, they've been giving it their heart and giving it their all. So thanks to everybody back at the studio, and hope you all enjoy it playing it here today as well as on PTS Monday.
Heck yeah.
Well, I want to give a huge thank you to Senki and to Wheeler for giving us more information about this new class. Can't wait for you all to give it a try, so make sure you hop on PTS on Monday and give us your feedback on it. So in just a few minutes, we're going to dive into the new zone, but first, we'd like to show you how this all comes together in a brand new world premiere trailer.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
He's like, oh, hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna focus on something really quick. I got to make a tweet. Finally? Wait, what? Oh, because of the trailer? Okay, let's watch this. Oh, they mean cinematic trailer. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. For a second, there's a split second. Is there going to be any more? Maybe not. Okay, well, fine. That is what it is.
We use the power of forbidden knowledge, searching for untold secrets. But there is a price to be paid when calling upon the unknown. Sometimes the unknown answers.
What? What in the world is that? Okay, is this a world event? Because it looks like it.
Open your mind. The knowledge you seek is waiting.
An infinite symbol. Wait, give me a second.
Open your mind. The knowledge you seek.
Honestly, don't think that's readable. I mean, some of it looks like Aelin, Dwemer, but I'm pretty sure it's not quite readable. Too much of it looks unrecognizable to me. But there's a symbol here, the infinite symbol. It's very interesting. And as also the,
Open your mind. The knowledge you seek
that's interesting as well. Because that symbol shows up, I think I saw it multiple
is
times.
waiting.
The creature was straight out of the forest, creepy AF, yeah.
So
I want
as
that
we
shirt.
get ready to release Necrom in just a few months, where you'll finally be able to get your hands on this brand new class, we are excited to let everyone know that the Necrom Prologue Quest is live and available to everyone to try right now. So anybody who has access to the ESO base game can jump in and play this Prologue Quest. And on
Probably
top
will
of
be
that,
doing that
ESO
next
is
stream.
running a free play event right now, so anyone can jump in and try this content today. So some of you may be asking yourself, what is a Prologue Quest? I know all of you know, but some people watching the stream may be curious.
Tell us.
So this is, I am going to, I plan to. So this is essentially a quest that prepares you for the chapter content. So you actually kick off the Necrom story arc ahead of it launching in June. So we'll talk a little bit more about this quest and its rewards a bit later in the stream. But first, I would like to introduce some new dev team members that are sitting here. First up, we have Tom Murphy, our zone lead. And the man who needs no introduction, our lead encounter designer, Mike Finnegan.
Finn.
So you both have had a hand in developing some of the community's favorite areas in DLCs.
Favorite.
What is one of your favorite memories from development?
It's a pretty hard question, but one that's very near and dear to my heart is actually a series of books that I wrote in the Greymore release. So Greymore, vampires, gothic drama, and somebody came up to our desk and was like, hey, we need a book about cheese. And
Oh, okay.
I was like, well, I can give you 4 books about cheese, and that's Cheeses of Skyrim is my favorite contribution.
Jesus of Skyrim.
Fun fact about that, he also runs the cheese group at ZOS,
It's like
or
the
the
cheese
cheese club at
Yeah.
ZOS. So,
I'm the Ayatollah of Gorgonzola.
Ayatollah of Gorgonzola, yes.
Finn, what about you?
So I get asked this question all the time about what's my favorite dungeon trial or whatever, and it's like I like to say it's like picking your favorite kid, and all parents know you absolutely have a favorite kid, but you can't say what your favorite kid is. So I actually would rather like to ask you guys, what is your favorite dungeon trial arena? Dreadsail Reef.
Dreadsail Reef, really? That excitedly? Okay.
I heard Ninja say Lair of Marsalok. A lot of good stuff. Look at that.
See nothing.
Anytime I stay alive, that's good. It's all good. It's all good choices.
There's a healer there, right? So as we mentioned, players are returning to Morrowind this year, but in Necrom, we're actually going to be heading to the Telvanni Peninsula. Why did you all decide to tell this story in a different part of Morrowind, and what's kind of going on in this area?
Yeah, well, to harken back to something our illustrious lore master, Michael Zenke, said, House Telvanni was a really natural fit for the themes of the story we wanted to tell in the Necrom chapter.
Also good to see
It
them
also
walking
really
around.
gave us a great opportunity
opera something they're
to
called?
explore Morrowind and Dark Elf culture without really having the lens of the tribunal sort of on them. You know, House Telvanni maybe pays the most lip service compared to like the actual worshippers of the tribunal. And also Necrom as a city predates all of the tribunal worship. So it's just really fascinating stuff to explore when we did our quest content.
Oh my god. I mean, this could be Camille Z, maybe, that we're looking at. I don't know, just the fact that it looks so... It looks like it's might be close to the ocean because of all the water involved. I mean, it could be.
Yeah, for us, it went back to sort of the Dunmer being a nice fit for Hermes Mora. We knew we were going to go to Apocrypha. We knew we were going to do a
Oh
lot of...
my god. So this is probably a statue of Vivek and Golgamore Jill, I'm gonna assume. Being like a reference to a story about how he slayed the beast by saying it was in its nature, and it died and provided the foundation for the city. He's standing on like, I'm guessing the beast's hand. That's at least what I'm supposing this statue is supposed to represent. Whether or not the story is true, obviously, is kind of like, because there's a lot of weird stuff going on with Vivek. But it is a very interesting bit of lore, and I think it might be his 34th lesson, but I could be wrong. It's in the 30s, somewhere in there.
A lot of fun things with Apocrypha.
Dude,
you know,
oh
Morrowind
man.
and the
Oh man, just look at that though. It's crazy. It's very detailed though. Wow. Much more detailed than the statues in his own city.
Bonnie Coast is very much that space in Elder Scrolls where it feels kind of alien, and it's, you know, it's one of our more weirder, you know, interesting areas. So it felt like a fit. It's less Red Mountain.
Was it like a generous troll or what? We really don't get a description, I don't think, of really what it looked like. I think it's just more to the imagination. But I don't know. Maybe we'll get some kind of depiction on a tapestry or something this year.
Ashlander, it's a little more, you know, verdant and full of life, but it's always fun to go back to places that we know players have been before. We like to always give people the sense when we hit that nostalgia button, you're coming home, right? And then we smack you with Apocrypha and Cthulhu nonsense,
It's
right?
all about the mushrooms.
I love it.
That's really what it is. It's all about the mushrooms.
All the mushrooms.
Well, and it's an area that they haven't seen since Tesserina.
94?
94?
It's 94.
Arena?
94.
Yeah, wow.
I know that because that's what my note card said.
Don't give away the magic.
Well, when we say Morrowind, obviously there's things that make it immediately recognizable, like the giant mushrooms, alien landscape, the Nixox, for better or worse. So in what ways is the Telvanni Peninsula visually distinct from the rest of Morrowind that players have already experienced?
Yeah, I talked about it a little more verdant. I mean, we knew that the big thing this time we were going to get to go to Necrom. Haven't seen it since Arena. And obviously Arena in 1994, the tech just wasn't there to fully realize what Necrom could have been.
Mm-hmm.
But we had all that lore. We knew that it was sitting in the maybe desecrated carapace of a long dead
Like you
semi-god that maybe Vivek threw down and maybe he didn't. We knew that the White Towers were going to be there, so we had all this great lore to jump off from, and that was probably the most. That was, you know, we were going to be able to give people something they hadn't seen before.
Yeah. So we mentioned Apocrypha earlier. Can you explain a little bit more about what this area is all about?
Yeah, so Apocrypha, domain of Hermes Mora, all domains of a Daedric prince are kind of an extension of the prince themselves. So Hermaeus Mora is the prince of forbidden knowledge and fate.
Hold on, I was looking away for just a second because I wanted to find what I wanted to link to you. Let me see. Okay, so here's the reference we have to Gogomore Jill. This is what's going to be a reference. This is what's going to be referenced this year a few times. It mentions Narcissus in this book. That is apparently Vivek was very confused that day because they mean Necrom, just another end city. But they're not going to change it on the USP because that's how it is in game. It says Narcissus, but it definitely means Necrom. But that is the book where that's probably going to be the most referenced sermon this year.
So we mentioned Apocrypha earlier. Can you explain a little bit more about what this area is all about?
Yeah, so Apocrypha, domain of Hermaeus Mora, all domains of a Daedric prince are kind of an extension of the prince themselves. So Hermaeus Mora is the prince of forbidden knowledge and fate, and these ideas are really just sort of suffused throughout Apocrypha, right? So he's the great miser of Oblivion. He loves to extend his tentacles out into other planes and into Nirn and kind of ensnare as much lore and knowledge as he can and kind of drag it back into his moldering libraries and his like gross, inky seas. Ooh.
Sounds like a pleasant place
Yeah.
to visit.
It's a good vacation place, right? Yeah.
It was kind of daunting from the art side. We saw Apocrypha in Dragonborn, and it was really set out in sort of the blank inky sea, right? And it was the cool platforms with the lacy stuff, you know, unrolling and all that stuff. So we had in the books, so we had that basis to go from. But you know, we're making an Elder Scrolls game, an Elder Scrolls Online game. We have to give people an overland, right? We have to have a hub town. We have to do the things that give everybody the things they need to play the chapter. And so we had to start thinking about, well, what is a god who likes to collect all things collectible? And you talked about maybe even like literally pulling in pieces of Nirn, right? Because he's cataloging everything and what sort of what shapes and what sort of ideas make that up. And somebody hit upon the idea of fossils embedded into the very rocks themselves.
But if that link doesn't work, which it doesn't look like it will, just Google the 34th sermon and you'll get it. Again, the link has a comment in it, and if you delete the comment, it still won't work. So.
And we knew we wanted to match Morrowind's crazy alien environments, so the artists got to just go pure imagination and go crazy, and you'll see it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and like we did with the Deadlands DLC. So Deadlands was a space that everybody knows. If you play TS4 Oblivion, you know that's like this red hellscape with fire and everything. But then we were able to say, well, what does destruction mean? And we had the Stormlands, which were a little bit different. They looked a little bit different. Apocrypha is kind of the same way, where we are able to take what they did in Dragonborn DLC and then really build upon that and put our own
looks like a
stamp
giant
on it,
cookie
make it
behind
look
him.
kind of like unique.
It's very
to our
distracting.
game.
One of the things I really like, and you just saw it in the video up here, is the usage of books as part of the architecture.
We were a little worried about that. We worry about metrics, and when you have a zone, it's like billions of books stacked everywhere. You got to get through it, but we got through it.
No, it looks amazing. So one of the things that, of course, brings a zone to life is the monsters. And Morrowind certainly doesn't have a shortage of just weird and strange creatures. So what are some of the general themes and the approach to the creatures that players are going to be coming across in Necrom?
Yeah, so we went with cosmic horror was the big thing, but also we went back to what players have experienced in the Dragonborn DLC. You've seen the lurkers,
Lord.
you've
Gina's
seen the
favorite. There
that's it. You've seen the lurkers and you've seen the
What is
seekers, and we were going to take those and largely build on what they did and then make sure it fits in our game with all the abilities. But then we were able to build completely new things, and what you see right here is this is the Hushed. These are like people that have gone a little bit too far in their worship. They don't have mouths. They're almost like zombie-like. And then this guy right here, which is the Mind Terror. So go. These guys operate completely different than, or a little bit different than what you're used to with monsters. Their attacks almost seem like 1940s, like horror films. They're stop motion. They fade in and out.
Oh
As you
God,
can tell by the
no.
expression on Gina's face, she really loves
so
the mind game.
Loves the mind
Seal of
terror.
approval.
Loves the mind terror.
Golgamore. It's not Golgamore. it's Golgamore Jill, which is 3 words. And also, trolls don't really have a naming structure either.
We literally were thinking about Gina when we were making this.
yeah.
We were like, Gina's not going to like this
More
one.
legs
It's got
the
more than
better,
4
right?
legs.
Yeah.
Gina's not gonna.
It's also all in caps, so it's probably Elnofex. Just probably. Usually that's reserved for Elnofex, so.
I'm not gonna like it. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention the tome shell. The tome shell is this. There you go. It's this little books that have creatures that are inside them, and they inhabit them and go around. So they're little creatures you're gonna see throughout Apocrypha. There's the lurker. So like I said,
I thought the
you've
lurkers
seen
were
some of
bad.
these things in the Dragonborn DLC, and we kind of like flesh them out how they'll fit in our game. He's pretty.
Yeah. Always lurking.
Always lurking.
Yeah.
There's Tome Shell.
Yeah.
They're adorable. I
Little
know,
buddy.
right?
The story of the tome shell is great because it was so organic. It was just someone saying, well, what would a hermit crab in Apocrypha
In a
look
pocket.
like?
It's exactly right. It's exactly right.
I'm sure that won't happen.
It better happen as Fergon. Okay, fine. He's a troll.
Thought the Nick socks were bad, and then you introduced these things.
Love the Nick Soxes.
Well, thankfully, we have a host of great characters in our chapters. So let's talk about some of the characters that players are going to be coming across in Necrom.
Yeah. So
Sun and Shadow, Sun and Shadow, Sun and Shadow. Okay, so I'm gonna guess Sun and Shadow is what I don't expect, but what I want. Narcissus Dren is probably likely. Revis, Demdavani is probably likely. Obviously, we're gonna get Asher and Naryu.
So I feel like the best releases we do are ones that give players a motley crew of allies, right? So our goals for Necrom were to go like big and weird with the people that you're going to be spending time with. The first one I'll mention is Laramel the Wise. It's kind of your main ally in the task that Hermaeus Mora sets before
Who
you.
again looks like she hasn't slept
is
for
an
days.
arcanist. She is not like a cultist of Hermaeus Mora. She's made a bargain with him for certain powers, and he's calling in his part of his due, basically. She can
Subcontractor.
Yeah. She can see threads of fate, which is an extremely rare and valuable gift for followers or people that are in Hermaeus Mora's sphere, and that's sort of your main interaction with her is helping find where these threads of fate are going and how they point to the various villains that are at play. The other one I'll mention is Meln the Mouthless, who is this weird character that I just created to kind of embody the Telvanni Peninsula. He's the ghost of a magister. He's kind of a grumpy old man that talks like this.
So he doesn't have a mouth, which is like a mouth for the Telvanni is like a person that speaks for them, if I recall correctly. I'm not the best at Telvanni like structure, but I know like a mouth is someone in service of like a Telvanni master. So does this mean that he doesn't have anybody, or does he literally not have a mouth? I don't know.
Kind of like
Ooh,
Fred.
yeah.
Hey,
Oh, only likable.
that's fair. That's fair.
He's like, oh, my lumbago. But he's actually a ghost that lives in a soul gem that you keep in your pocket. And the idea is very similar to a character that I wrote for the Deadlands, Aerox the Mutilator.
Aerox!
Just like,
Everyone loves Aerox. Everyone's favorite.
You just love to narratively be in people's ears.
I
as
do.
they run around.
If I could, I would
The
just sit
disembodied
behind
voice.
somebody playing the game. I'd be like, oh, look at that. There's a
You're
dragon.
gonna hear this. You're gonna hear this.
You meet Meln pretty early in main quest, and the moment you meet Meln is one of my favorites it's. I won't spoil it, but it's very funny. I
Yeah.
loved it, yeah.
He's great. There's so many great characters. I don't want to spoil any more, but there's also not just new characters, there's returning ones. So, yeah, Naryu's coming back.
There you go.
Maybe you heard of her.
Yeah.
And a personal favorite of mine, Sotha Sil will be making.
Oh my god, saw this so confirmed. Dude, Twitter is probably exploding. I haven't been on Twitter really because I've been trying not to see like spoilers for what was revealed or whatnot. But like Twitter must be, at least the certain people that I follow must be like going nuts.
An appearance. And for the rest, we'll just have to play and see.
Yeah.
Well, we also, I'm speechless here.
Flabber.
We announced that we're going to be adding 2 new companions as well with the launch of Necrom. So for those that may not know, companions are essentially like adventuring buddies in ESO that you can kind of call upon when you need a hand in combat. You can summon them anytime. They fight alongside you, and you can also choose their gear, their abilities. They have a whole personality. There's a rapport system, so they're a super robust system. We have a few existing companions already, but the newest companions coming to Necrom are Sharp and Xander. So Tom, can you talk a little bit more about their personalities and where players are going to find them?
Of course. So we wanted to do something a little bit different, keep things fresh compared to our previous companions. So Sharp and Xander are both a little bit more worldly. They're a little bit older. Sharp is our Argonian warden. He is a tough-as-nails bounty hunter. His life has been shaped by sort of the Telvanni Peninsula and all the hard jobs he's had to pull. Xander is our kind of crazy arcanist who's been in Apocrypha maybe just a little too long, but he's this bombastic and brilliant mage who needs help plumbing the depths of reality.
I like them.
Well, just like with the companion system, we are making updates to some other existing systems as well. So there's going to be a new patron deck coming to Tales of Tribute called Almalexia.
Yeah, they didn't say if
And of course,
Almalexia
there's
was
going to be
show up.
some new antiquities rewards that you'll be able to find in the Necrom zone. So we should talk about the last place that players are going to be able to explore, and it's that new region called Chroma Incognito. So Tom, what is
Okay,
this
so-
new zone
yeah.
in Apocrypha?
Okay, yeah, is this a public dungeon? Is this is there even going to be a public dungeon here? Tech, I don't even know if there's going to be public dungeons. I don't know if they've confirmed it, but most likely. But like, goodness gracious, what is that? What's happening here?
Yeah, so it's a wholly original creation that we made for the Necrom release. We knew that we wanted to do 2 things with this new region, right? We wanted to kind of maintain the themes and stylings of Apocrypha, but also create like a really stark contrast, a vivid contrast to the bleak libraries that I think people all know when they think of Apocrypha. And vivid contrast ended up being quite literal. We had a lot of really weird ideas about where this could have gone, and we ended up all coalescing around like alien, shimmering color. You know,
We didn't want to do a monochromatic zone. You know, sometimes Oblivion plains can be like, it makes sense in Cold Harbor. It's a hellscape.
Yeah.
You know, it's oppressive by nature. But we didn't want Hermaeus Mora's realm to feel oppressive in that way, right? Like it's a physicalization of someone who's collecting all things collectible, as I said earlier, and why not put color into that, right? Why not give the eye places to go and colors to see?
yeah, and it also is where we kind of really play with the idea of what is a library without books, right? Like Hermaeus Mora is cataloging knowledge doesn't necessarily mean that he's literally only looking at things that are words on a page, right? So like, what is the Apocrypha version of microfiche, you know?
I'm sorry, what?
What is the Apocrypha version of microfiche?
It's a small fish. It's a small fish, dude. It's a small fish.
Microfiche.
Oh, what?
It's like,
Some
really
people
small
know what
fish.
she's talking
it's
about.
like fiche, but micro.
Fish with micro.
Right. You all know what microfiche is? I'm
I
sure
have
there's somebody
no
in
idea.
Twitch chat that hasn't heard of this.
Yeah, Chroma Incognito is kind of like the deadly children's section of like the library or something. It's colorful walls and stuff like that, but it can kill you.
Yeah, but it
enough.
can kill you.
Sounds about right for World of Tamriel, right? Well, I'm sure some of you are wondering, so I'm going to be the one to ask. What is the story behind the name?
Well, it sounds cool,
Color,
right?
chroma is color, incognito
Rule
is
of cool.
hidden.
Yeah, maybe
So-
chroma is Greek and maybe incognito is Latin. And maybe it should properly be incognita, but you know, it sounds cool, right?
Well, a god who's studied all languages would pull from all languages.
Yeah, Hermes Mora doesn't care if you're a classics major.
Sure, right. Go with that.
Well, one of the things we briefly mentioned in January are these new world events that we're going to be adding in Necrom.
Finally.
Before we get into details, though,
Good
for
lord.
maybe some folks watching on the stream that aren't familiar with what world events are, Finn, why don't you explain what makes these so special?
Yeah, so world events are a chance in Overland content for us to get some organic grouping together. So get players that are kind of exploring the zone to
Please don't be random,
see
please
a
don't be
big,
random.
cool thing and then go meet up with their friends and kill it. So that's pretty much the gist of what world events are.
It
All
never
right, well,
gets
let's
old.
talk more about these new world events that are in Necrom. They are called Bastion Nimic.
Okay, wait. So they've changed their name. They've changed the name entirely. It used to be Oblivion Raids.
Yeah, so Bastion Nimic is a fortress in Apocrypha. Nimics are, as we all know,
Of course.
the true names of Daedra. If you know a Daedra's Nimic, you
Oh,
get
it's spelled Nymic. I was trying to put together what they were saying. Nimic. Okay, yeah. So this is cool. Yeah, because they utilize Nimics as well in the 2021 story. Nimics are also used in Battlespire. The term comes up quite a lot in some books. I like this name, Bastion Nimic.
control over them. This is where Hermes Mora just was like, hey, what, I should keep all my Nimics together in one place. And then some malevolent forces who are also at play in the main quest saw that and decided they wanted to steal those Nimics and try to amass that power for themselves. Hermes Mora's gaze is spread a little thin in the Necrom release, so he's put out an APB for players to help come to Bastion Nimic, drive out these invaders, and restore peace. And
Okay, wait. So is this just going to be another Oblivion Portal thing? Because I'm getting like a Toll of Immolation vibes. It looks like this place is pretty big. Kind of scared about that. I think it would be great. I think it would be fun if they're not randomly spawning, but we'll see.
And the rewards are great for those who can help them out.
Damn.
We did something a little bit different for this. So if you guys remember the Oblivion portals, you went in and it was kind of a public dungeon type zone where everybody can kind of go into it. This is the first time for a world event that we're actually going to use 4-player instances. So you're going to be able to go out. It's also quest driven, so you'll get a daily quest, which will allow you to get the things you need in order to access this place. Then you can either go in solo or go in with friends, up to 4 players, and kind of explore this. It's almost like a dungeon. You can explore this area and kind of get fat loots.
Well, I don't know about you all, but I
Okay, so it's exclusively 4-player, which is a first for a world event. Doesn't really affect me too much, considering I usually only play with 3, but at times I can imagine that would be kind of annoying.
am looking forward to checking this out because I love that kind of stuff. So while we're talking about group content, we should also discuss the new trial, which is...
There they are.
Well, all right.
So this is our content that's designed for 12 players.
Yes. Yeah, we range in difficulty from normal to try hard. So for those players that want to go in there and experience a more casual kind of experience, they can go in there with 11 friends and tackle some of these challenges. And then if you really want to push the limits, you can go to veteran or even hard modes and really push for the top of the leaderboards and stuff.
Well, the new trial is called Sanity's Edge.
Okay, well, they didn't change that.
Finn, why don't you give everyone a little preview of what they can expect here?
Yeah, so
Hype it up, Finn. Go.
yeah. So Sanity's Edge is most of the time when we do a trial, it's a physical location in the world. You go to a physical space. So for this one, it's a little bit
Whoa,
different.
my God.
Some mage has decided to study a Daedric artifact, and he didn't do it with the normal precautions. So he unleashed a malevolent creature into his mind, and now you are going to bring 11 of your friends into his mind in order to free him from the torment that he has. You're seeing some things on screen here that you may
Oh my
recognize some of the
God.
places you go, because you're basically exploring his dreams and his nightmares as you go through this. So you may see some familiar areas that from other parts of the
Looks
game.
way better than I thought it would.
You know, my psychiatrist recommended I have 12 Elder Scrolls players.
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of in my brain.
it's catching steam. It's like that's the new diagnosis.
Thank God
now.
my
Yeah,
insurance covered it.
Yeah, it's very rarely covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we can't talk about the trial without talking about some of the rewards. So for those of you who complete all the trial achievements, and yes, that includes the no death speedrun hard mode, you will earn yourself a brand new mount. This is the Dark
A
Ram
mount
mount.
reward. Okay, I mean, well, a mount reward. Like, when was the last time there was a mount reward for something? I mean, I said, like, they don't really give out mounts in the game, to be honest, unless it's like a scrying thing, you can get one. But like, okay, I mean, like, they should do this more often. I think maybe if it has a positive response, they'll do it more often.
So if you see players running around on this mount, you'll know they have completed some of the hardest content that we have in the game.
They're the goat.
Okay, so apparently it's
Now,
gonna be
we
very
actually
hard.
have another mount that you'll be able to earn in the zone by completing several key achievements
Okay.
throughout Necrom.
Okay.
This is going to be
Alright,
a brand new.
So they're catching on.
Exos.
And more mounts. I'm not even a mouse guy.
We
and
like
I'm
to
glad
call
see
this
this
one the Gina Bruno.
The Gina Bruno.
Special, right?
Come on, Gina, it glows underneath. Look how cute that is. Come on, don't you want to ride that sucker?
I can't
Smile
wait
at
to see a whole bunch of those running around all over the place. Well, I want to give a huge thank you to Finn, to Tom, to CJ for giving us such a great
Maybe the
preview
spawn
of all
animation's
the
really
upcoming
cool or something. Very flashy.
Every time.
I say it every day.
Every day.
So don't forget, this does release June 5th for PC and Mac and June 20th for consoles, and it's coming to PTS on Monday.
Yeah.
So we had a great time chatting with everyone today. It has been such a pleasure to be back in person in Las Vegas with everybody. This
Oh,
was
yeah. It's
a
so
really
great.
fun story.
So awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Yeah.
You.
Now, before we wrap up, I do want to hand it over to my friends Jess and Amy, who are going to be sharing some more details about the quality of life updates coming to Update 38.
Thanks, Gina. So we've heard a lot about Necrom today. We're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about some of the additional things happening now and coming to ESO with Update 38, the base game update that is free to all ESO players.
Yeah, so coming with Update 38, we'll be introducing some new features to help you stay better organized. First, you'll be able to favorite some of the collectibles you've earned in-game. You can designate your favorite mounts from your collection, and anytime you summon up your mount, a random one from your favorites list will appear.
Okay, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Furnishing bundles from the Crown Store will now also automatically be put into containers, taking up just one space in your inventory. I know, yeah. So you can take those items out and organize
Fillet
at your
entire stacks of
leisure.
fish.
And get
Student no
excited,
longer
anglers.
endlessly looking for
Filleting
you.
fish just got a whole lot easier. You will now be able to use any provisioning station to fillet all those stacks of fish with a single action.
We'd also like to talk about a few things that are either happening now, just happened, or are soon to be upcoming. So first off, in our ongoing work to consolidate when daily and weekly timers reset in ESO, campaigns and monthly leaderboards for Cyrodiil and Tales of Tribute will reset on the first of the month at the daily reset time with the launch of Update 38. Also, sharing Hircine's gift for werewolf lycanthropy and noxophilic sanguivora for vampirism will change from a 7-day timer or 7-day cooldown to be on the weekly reset with the launch of Update 38. Yeah, you either love her or you hate her, Stuga. Stuga will no longer relentlessly follow you with the launch of Update 38. She's now going to be
she'll just
stationary
standing.
near certain taverns in Daggerfall, Davin's Watch, and Volkelgard. She will still try to flag you down, but she'll no longer chase you, and her greeting line will only play when you're within certain proximity of her. And then, as with all of our major updates, we'll have some new player houses available. The first is an in-room called Journey's End Lodgings. There's also a large house called Emissaries Enclave. And then, saving the best for last, the Fair Winds. This is a player house that is something we've never done before, yes. It is a literal moving ship.
Damn.
So the islands and terrain do move in the distance, so it looks like the ship is moving through the water while you're on it.
Genius.
If you fall off, the current will sweep you away from the ship, so watch your step. And the view from the crow's nest is amazing, not to be missed. See if you can spot some ornogs playing in the waves in the distance. This is one player house you're not going to want to miss out on. It will come out sometime after the launch of Necrom, but you can check it out on the PTS along with the other two starting next week. And then we'd also like to tell you about a few other things, including the Scribes of Fate launch, in case you missed it. Did launch last month. This came with 2 new dungeons, Belsinar and Scrivener's Hall, complete with, I like this guy, complete with new challenges and rewards and the start of the Shadow over Morrowind storyline. As Gina mentioned earlier in the stream, the Necrom Prologue questline did release today. This is free content available to all ESO players. When you complete the Necrom Prologue questline, you can get your very own ancient relic
The guy
of
is so happy to be
Hermaeus
there.
Mora, the
He's
unstable
me if I was
emerald
there.
glyphic memento.
We also have several upcoming in-game events. So as many of you know, ESO just turned 9. Yeah. So log in and help us celebrate with some birthday fun during our anniversary
Wait until she brings up White Strikes.
Jubilee event, which is happening in-game now until April 18th. And during this event, you'll be able to unlock this year's unique tentacular Jubilee cake. And starting next week, you'll be able to get an early look at Update 38 and the Necrom chapter on PTS, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, which goes live on April 17th. And then next month, we'll be kicking off our White Strakes Mayhem, our first one of the year. Yeah. Followed by our second encore White Strakes Mayhem event in June. So be on the lookout for more details about that event and this year's rewards.
We'd also like to share an update on our ongoing hardware refresh efforts. As many of you are aware, we've been hard at work refreshing all the hardware in our data centers to ensure our players can enjoy ESO for many years to come.
Well, I can't get into
We
the game
finished the
for some
PC
reason,
North
so-
America server work last year, and PC European server work just completed last week. The community's feedback has been phenomenal so far. We will complete the PlayStation EU work next week, and then Xbox North America and PlayStation North America work will be completed in May, and the Xbox EU server work will be done later this year. So please see our posts on the official ESO forums for more information.
From the lush Telvanni Peninsula to the endless library of Apocrypha, we've given you an inside look at what lies ahead with Necrom. The Elder Scrolls Online Necrom chapter arrives June 5th for PC and Mac,
Damn.
and June 20th for Xbox
That
and PlayStation.
is a cool poster,
If you pre-purchase
man.
the chapter, you'll receive the
I
Cydrith
need
Morris
that
4 Steed
on my
mount.
wall.
And if you pre-purchase before April 18th, you'll also receive the matching
Did someone
Cydrith
say
Morris
pizza
4
horse?
pony pet, so don't miss out on your last
said
chance to
pizza
receive both
horse.
of those things. Our free play event is also happening now until April 17th, so if you're new to ESO or if you have a friend
That
who's
Art
also
of
looking to
Laramie,
start
though.
their journey in Tamriel, you can jump in game for free right now to get started.
Our latest gifting promotion is also happening now until April 13th. When you gift 5 event tickets to other players in-game, you can get 4 Rage-bound crown crates by May 31st.
But you can't gift any
We
to
also have a
anybody.
number of sales going on now, of course we do, that you can take advantage of. They include the base game and High Isle chapter and crown packs. You can check our handy sales article on the official ESO site or your favorite platform store for details.
Thank you so much to our host Gina, to Matt, Rich, and to all of our developers who shared their experience working on Necrom today. For everybody here with us in person today, stick around. We have a lot more in store for you. And for everybody watching at home from around the globe, thank you so much for joining us today. You can follow along on our official social channels for more coverage of the ESO celebration and all things Necrom. And until next time, we'll see you in Tamriel.
Man, I wish I was there. Okay, yeah, so they're just gonna go through gameplay, trailers. Well, some of it shows that in the thumbnail. Alright, well let's see if, I mean obviously like I should be asleep right now, but let's see if my ESO is working now. That was fantastic though, by the way. I don't understand what's going on because like I played ESO last night, you know, and I got in the game, but it just keeps freezing up. Like and completely crashing. Was there an update or something between then and now? I don't know. But something's weird. Like for some reason it put my Streamlabs away. Like it never does that. It like took it off my second monitor. It never does that. And suddenly it's doing that. What, I mean, like, what's the difference between last night and tonight? So that's not a good sign because that's a variable that it's never done that before. I might just have to try to fix it off stream. God. Okay, let's see if it does it again. I need to just reset everything. That's a best case scenario. I ran repairs on the launcher, validating all game files. This is my first run since I did that. Even if I get in game, we're not in the clear. Because it crashed in game earlier. About almost 2 hours ago. When I started, so. But it'll mean that I'll miss Endeavors for the first time in ages. And also my tickets. I should probably try to get my tickets first thing. Come on, hold on. I'm watching it spin. Come on. Don't give up. Don't give in. Okay. First things first. Tickets. Come on. Let me get my tickets, please. Alright. Tickets are taken. We now have tickets. Alright, perfect. We're in. Now, when I tried to teleport is when it broke. Let's take a quick thumbnail. There's the thumbnail for the stream. Okay. So far so good. I shouldn't have said that. Even if this breaks, I'm going to try to work it off stream. I did one endeavor, which was the enchantments. What I did was I tried to go to into 15th. Come on. Please. Okay. Well, I mean, I got my tickets. That's good. That's good. I've missed, like, an endeavor before. Am I doing the little prologue tomorrow? Yes, if everything goes right, because I get home from work at 6, which means that I should have, like, 8 hours of free time. Like 7.5, 8 hours, something like that. So, yeah, we should, and Mom and Dad can get on, so, yeah. My streams might be changing time. I might be changing my stream times drastically in the future. Just a warning. Weekend streams will probably stay the same, like in the evenings. But week streams, because I'm going to be like working night shift, so I'm probably going to be doing streams in the mornings, if everything goes through. I know it's not like what everyone will probably want to hear, but I really need this job because it's kind of like the job I had last year. And at least it sounds like it, and I really liked that job. And it pays so much more that it's just mind-blowing. So it's something that I need. I will not be stopping streaming. I will just be probably streaming in the morning, unless I decide to stream before work, in which case I will be streaming pretty much just evening time. But I'm not sure if I want to do that. What time am I off at? If I get the job. All I know is that I did an interview and it looked really, really ultra hopeful. If I get it, I'm either going to be taking a 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift, or a 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift. I don't know which one I'm going to take, but I really want the 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift personally, because it is a better position for me, I think. Even if I don't like the shift times. I'm nuts. Why am I nuts? Why am I nuts? You know, I didn't expect that. You caught me by surprise. Let me tell you why I'm nuts. I'm nuts because I shouldn't be playing right now. I should be sleeping. But my current job is really mean, the scheduling. And I'm really hoping, if I get this new job, I'm going to have it like, I'm going to be starting training on Thursday. Next Thursday, so a week from now. On the 20th, I think. So, if that's the case, I will probably be. I'll probably, because I get off my current job at like Sunday is my first free day, and if I get this new job, I'm gonna quit my current job. So I'll be getting Sunday through Thursday off to do some fun streams or whatnot. Before I start my new schedule. I understand early morning and stuff, and overnight shift is not for everyone, and maybe it's not even for me, but you have no idea how much I need the money. You know, I'm barely making rent with this job because I'm not getting a lot of hours, and it's working me to death. I'm having really bad physical problems, you know, where I can't really walk anymore as well as I could, and it started as kind of like a joke, like haha I'm aching, and now it's moving out of joke territory, and it's kind of unsettling because it hurts really bad. So I'm hoping to get this new job, which will be like pretty much stationary, you know, like I won't be moving, and at least not like a lot at all. So I'm hoping to get it. This job basically pays pennies for me to break my back. Is it like bumming my foot or what? No, my feet are fine. What's really hurting is my left knee, specifically the base. It feels like I did something. It's like my left knee specifically. I feel like an old person. I'm really glad this is working, guys. I was worried that because I wouldn't have been able to do the prologue quest. I mean, maybe it'll break again. God, I hope not. but I mean, honestly, I feel like that might even been the game's fault, not my computer, because man, I played it perfectly last night. I feel like I've been playing it perfectly for a long time. You okay? That was lag, that was lag, that was lag. When you stand stationary, do you sometimes walk your knees back? Maybe? If I did, it would be subconscious. I might do that. I mean, I might have done it. But here's the thing: I work in retail, and I'm on my feet for 8 hours, and walking and pushing and picking things up, and you know, bending down, and so I'm doing a lot of stuff, and it hurts. Hey, if that Netch is trying to kill you, I ain't gonna save you, buddy. You made the Netch angry. Okay, now time for the last one. Here's hoping that we make it. Let's go somewhere where there's not a lot of people, just to be safe. Brotwood, Elden Root, I'm just kidding. Where would there be an enchanting table where there's not a lot of people? A base game zone, maybe? Let's do like a base game zone that's pretty deep in... Oh, hey, like, Hollandstand? Does that have an enchanting? It does. Okay, let's go to Hollandstand. It's a cool place, to be honest. But yeah, so my new job, they talked about, either my new job is going to be, you know, it's going to be a driving position, where I'll just drive around for 8 hours as a patrol security position, or it'll be more of a sitting at a desk and checking in employees kind of position. I want the desk job. I really like sitting at a desk, to be honest. Maybe it's just all my time spent here, but like sitting at a desk for 8 hours with a lot of downtime is kind of my idea of a job, because I spend a lot of my time thinking. I came up with one of my most brilliant Elder Scrolls scholarly observations while at a desk job, where I just sat there and thought. And so it's just, I have a lot of time to just ponder things, whether it be important or frivolous. But desk jobs are super fun. Yeah, I can't do retail. I've been doing it for not very long at all. I used to work at Kroger. I work at Tom Thumb now, which is like an Albertsons branch in Texas. And I've been working there since February 26th, I think. And I mean, to me, it feels like I've been working there for 5 years. I just been stretched thin. Plus, you can have your phone, playing stuff, and working at the same time. I'm hoping. I'm not getting too excited, right? For all I know, they're going to take my phone or something, but they didn't say anything about that, and so I'm hoping that I can use my phone for maybe at least listening to something via Bluetooth, maybe listening to streams or whatnot. Both my security jobs, I was allowed to do that. I'd enjoy that, and I really have my foot in the door. The only reason I don't have the job yet is because my interviewer, she said, you know, we might have an opening for that desk job, but I don't know yet, and so when I do know, you know, within a day or so, she's going to contact me, and if it's open, then I get it. If it's not open, I'm probably going to get the driving position, where I will be off at 2 p.m. And then I might end up having like 3 p.m. streams, and like 3 p.m. to, I don't know, 3 p.m. to maybe 6, eat some dinner, and then fall asleep. I don't know. But whether it be driving your desk, I might be able to have my phone going, playing something. We'll see. Try to get into active security jobs near you, but they're always taken by the damn retired ass military dude. Yeah, security's a really good thing to get into. it's really just basically about being a presence, which is something that I'm good at. I'm good at existing. You know, I've worked really hard at it.
Take pride in your
And
work.
I did it for 6 months, and I've been trying my damnedest to get back into it, and this is the closest I've been since early October last year, and so I'm hoping that this week might be my last week in retail. I've got only 3 more days. I'm kind of stoked, but try not to get too terribly excited. Okay, enchanting. But yeah, streams will be at a different time, no matter what. I don't think streams will be at the current time, but that could just be temporary. You know, it could just be a temporary thing, where, you know, like I do this for a while and then I get another shift later or whatnot. But for right now, I desperately need this security job. Not only do I need the security job because I prefer to do security work, I need a security job because it pays me like so much more than my current job, where I'm getting paid pennies, like just straight up pennies for breaking my back. So this job is paying 18 an hour. 18 an hour. After like Texas taxes, after like that, it's gonna end up being like, I think around 16 or something, even 15, man. Like right now I'm making not even 10 an hour, so it would just really stack up. Not only that, but I'm gonna be doing 8-hour shifts and not 8.5, and so that's really good. This is just something that I really want, man. Like, if I don't get it, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But also, I'm worried that if I do get it, I'm worried that, like, I'm gonna, like, run into some difficult parts, and then I'm gonna think I can't complain about it, or I can't be angry about a thing because it's like, oh, you wanted it so bad, though, you know? It's kind of this thing where it's like if you really want to go on a trip to another country, and then you get like you want to go to Australia so bad, but you like get bitten by a spider or something that's native to Australia, and it's like, but you wanted to go to Australia so bad, but it's like, yeah, I don't want to be bit by a spider though. That's kind of how I feel, and I feel like people are gonna be like, you can't complain because you wanted this so bad. But like, the music I think the music cues in the back are from Morrowind. It's playing like a Morrowind music in the back. I can tell by the cello. I don't remember what the track name is, but it was playing like a little motif from Morrowind, I think. That was pretty awesome right there. But yeah, no, either way, this job's got to be better for me. It's close by, and the security company, everyone was really nice. You know, the place, they said this place has a lot of downtime. It was really chill. I just felt like I was back in my element like I was last year. It's Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day. I get weekends off. I get paid weekly, I believe. I'm just like, this is something that I just want so bad, man. Like, weekends off is super important to me because, you know, it's when all the family gets together and we have our special family night, and I'll be able to do some long streams maybe. So yeah, that's something that I'm really into. Your Night Security is an amazing giggle. Yeah. It's just that I'm gonna have to alter my stream life. I'm gonna be like an earlier stream or an afternoon stream. I'm really scared about like not seeing my friends as often, but I'll be able to text them, I guess. But you know, like this job just pays so much more, man. It seems like this job pays so much more for so little work, right? Compared to my current job, where I need to be up in 7 hours, right? Because they had me leave at 10 and I'm going in 12 hours later. there's the scheduling is all over the place. I get paid pennies. The only good thing about this job that I have right now is pretty much that I get like 3-day weekends. One time they gave me a whole week off, and that's fun. But it's like I can't pay rent if I get a week off. I mean, I can, but just barely, you know. And I need I need something more respectful. Well, not. That sounds wrong. Like, we need security and people in retail. But I want something that I feel like I can make a career out of, right? I feel like I can do something with security. I can really make it a thing that I just consistently make money with. I made so much money working in security, and people liked me there. I'm just like, I just really want this so bad. I need that money, man. I mean, I do not want to keep working where I'm working. And, I mean, like, my legs hurt. I also kind of have, a little bit, I kind of have oversensory problems. Like working in retail is kind of hard, is pretty damn hard if you have oversensory issues, you know, and I kind of do a bit. But working in security where everything's just like so quiet is so much better for me. It just feels, it's peaceful. Some people say like, well, time goes slower if you have nothing to do. That's true for some people, not for me. Like, do animals come to life at night? I had coyotes in one of my positions, but you could hear them. I didn't see a coyote though. But what was I saying? I was saying something. Dang it! I had it. Completely forgot what it was. I'm tired. I completely forgot what it was. But it was something very important that I wanted to talk about. It was because people say like, oh, you need stuff going on. You need stuff going on during a job to like pass the time. That's not how I really work. Like for me, having a bunch of tasks to do within an allotted time makes it really hard, because you do like, if you manage to do the tasks fast, you do 12 tasks and your body feels like you've been doing work for 3 hours, and then you check and it's been half an hour. You know, that's the worst. In like security, in my experience, where it's like you don't really, if you just don't bother looking at the time and you just let time go by, you look at the time and it's just like, oh my god, hold on, it's late, you know? It's just like, I mean, I used to watch the sun, I used to watch the shadows move to dictate what time it was, just for fun, even though I could look at a clock, but I didn't care. When I worked at a lobby position, I just didn't, the lobby position I had was the best job I've ever had, man. Like, people were so nice, it was so fancy there, and all I just had to do was check people in, and it didn't even happen all that often. It was my dream job, man. And this might not be the same thing, you know, but it's really close, and I feel like I really just smashed the interview. Like, I'm never confident about something, but when I came out of that interview, I took the interview before I went to work, right? Which was, in my opinion, something like I never saw myself ever doing that. But I just want the job so bad that I got up early to do an interview before I went in for 8.5 hours of work. And so I feel like we did the interview, like everything went so smoothly that I feel like I could have just picked up the job on the spot. But we decided to just kind of wait until this other job opens up, potentially within 24 hours or whatnot. I don't know. I'll probably know when I wake up. And if I don't, I might contact her. But, you know, like, I feel like I literally just could have picked it up then and there, because the interview just went so well. Like, me and the interviewer got along so well. It was definitely the best interview I've ever had. So I feel pretty confident about it. You're saying maybe it's because you're working harder than everyone else and getting your tasks done went faster. Yeah, I mean, I kind of I take my time with tasks. So if no one's really particularly watching, sometimes I just take my time because it's like I'm just passing time. I'm getting paid by the hour as long as I get it done. I'm very slow when it comes to doing things. I don't like being rushed. I get anxious and I make huge mistakes if I get anxious. I worked in fast food, which went pretty damn well until I was put in the drive-through where I just I can't do drive-through. Big props to anyone who does drive-through. I'm always super nice to any employees, but drive-through employees are just, like really major props. Backbone of our society, really. By the way, this outfit is temporary. This is my alternate Morrowind outfit. The iconic Clouds outfit is still obviously in my quick slot. I'm just wearing this because I'm in a big Morrowind mood, Endeavors are done. I don't have to worry about that. I've already gone much longer than I should have, but I got to do some ESO and I got to cover the entire stream as well. And I got to see the cool stuff. I just didn't get the earrings because, they decided to do the stream at 2 p.m. for some reason or whatever. But, yeah. At my old job, I used to be able to watch all the ESO streams, because I could just put it on my phone. Hopefully I can do that with this new job. But again, it's really about being observant first. And so it's like, maybe some phone stuff, but you really just should be looking, I'm gonna just work hard to balance the two. That's what the replay streams are for, and I did. I went back and I rewatched the entire stream that I missed, and you can go, when I'm about to end the stream, you can go back and watch the VOD to see my impressions, and I deconstructed some stuff. I explained some of the stuff that we saw in some clips. It was really, really fun. I'm hoping to be there next year during the 10th anniversary, wherever that will be. I think I'm starting to reach a point where I can do that kind of stuff. It'll be really exciting. Your little OCDs, you're constantly moving and doing stuff. You tend to have to make yourself slow down. I'm kind of that way. I'm kind of some kind of OCD to the point where it kind of messes with my performance and things. And I want to see if I can maybe look into how that can be handled, because it can be kind of counterproductive. But yeah, I'm going to raid you guys off. I'm glad I got to do a 2-hour stream, even though I probably shouldn't have. And I'm glad ESO is working right now. The repair might have actually done something. I'm glad that I figured out how to do that. Okay, God, I thought it crashed. I'm going to raid you guys to someone. But yeah, if you guys want to rewatch the VOD and see me deconstruct some stuff, it's mostly just me going like, wow, that's cool. But I mean, I did cover some stuff. Feel free to stick around for the raid. I really do enjoy raiding a lot. Night. Tomorrow's stream, well, I guess later today's stream will probably be better, or it will be longer, because I get home at 6. So I could see myself maybe starting at 9, because I like to rest when I get home a little bit, and then I'll probably stream until, I don't know, 9 to midnight maybe. Probably. But we will be doing the prologue quest, so I will be going over that. I'll be going over the lore, trying to deduce where things are going. We'll be doing it with Mom and Dad if everything goes fine. We're going to be going to Syndra Daughter. We're going to be going to Syndra. God, I'm so glad ESO is working. My stream did cut into 2 VODs though, which kind of annoys me. But hey, yeah, it's whatever. Give me a second, I'll get the raid ready. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's appreciated.